Well, here we go for another short DJI Mini 3 September morning flight. We can get out of these clouds. A couple of flights ago it was fog. Now it's the clouds trying to find my landing pad. But I got a feeling. Boom! And the feeling is right. So as you can see, we got a few clouds up in the sky. Beautiful morning. And we're up and away. Letting the DJI Mini 3 Thelma Lou get her bearings. And off she goes. We've flown this route many times before, but we're flying it again because it's such a good route. There's a white car down below. There are people that work on the trails, the walking trails, and keep them maintained and up to date. So, headed due north. We'll fly till she goes into return to home, which nowadays on the Mini 3 is not that far. And we'll let her go and return to home, and then we'll fly her back ourselves. So hope you're all doing well. It's early September. I won't say early, it's almost mid-September. First week of September. And it's about, in the low 80s. And it's probably about 10:30, 11 o'clock, somewhere in there, in the morning. Flying due north. DJI Mini 3 Thelma Lou without ND filters. And I've got plenty of ND filters in my pack. I just don't see the need for them most of the time. Motion blur is not a big thing to me. I'd rather have the detail myself, especially when flying over more open property like this. So we're up and away, so to speak, and she's got the wind at her back right now. The wind is blowing from the south and we're heading north, so always keep that in mind. Be cognizant of which way the wind's blowing when you take off, because you never know if you're planning on being up for very long. You may need that tailwind to get you back home. Fortunately or unfortunately, the Mini 3, she loses signal way before the battery runs out, so there's no problem getting her home even in a headwind. And I think there's a reason for that. I'm using the FCC mode, but I really believe that the different controllers on the Mini 3, and this is the RC Pro I'm using, so I do have a screenshot of this also, but I think that some controllers are released. I think the quality control coming out of China sucks. And some of the controllers are released with a higher power output than others. There's just no logical reason why people that are flying over wooded areas are getting twice the range I am, 3 times the range I am. I really think that that's probably the main problem is lack of quality control in the controller releases, and some FCC release models have higher output rates, and I could probably measure that. I'm a ham radio operator, so I could probably figure out a way to measure all that stuff and get in there and do all that, but I'm also an old man, so I don't feel like fooling with it. But that's why I believe that you have people like Philly Drone and stuff like that are getting 2 or 3 times the distance I am, and a lot of people overseas are getting much further, 3, 4 times the distance I am. And I've flown it over water too, and the distance doesn't increase for me at all. It's like it's pre-programmed. When it gets to this certain range, they're within a couple hundred feet either side, boom, she goes in RTH. That's just the way it is. So I get fairly decent range out of it. Nothing spectacular. My Mini 2 flies much better. It doesn't fly much better. It flies further. It has a better signal than the Mini 3 does. Anyway, we're looking down at some high lines right now. We're probably going to do some bow hunting later on next month. And just trying to pick out some openings and some different details in the woods. As you can see, the trees are not quite as bright green as they were earlier in the year. Getting to be a little more brown in them. Not a lot, a little bit of yellow. Long ways away from it being to the point where you can really see the color change. You know, that doesn't come for several months here where I live, but you just can tell by the shading of the trees when you're flowing as much as I fly that the times are a-changing, as Bob Dylan would say many years ago. Anyway, we're about at the point where she loses signal. We usually make it up around that little railroad or that little bridge going over the railroad, but we're not going to make it this time. She's going to go into RTH right up here pretty darn quick. So we'll be satisfied with that, I guess. And just bring her back home. Bam, I want to get to that road there. There she is. I knew she'd run out right there. So she just flipped into return to home, and she will start on her way back, and you'll see me. I'll take it out of RTH, and she doesn't know what she's doing when I do that. It's like she just, the screen freezes. I'm bringing it back. You can obviously see I've turned it, and I'm flying back, but the video on the screen still is not moving at all. And it might take 30 seconds, and all of a sudden it'll pop up and start rolling again with the distance that it is. Very strange. Well, some kind of software glitch there, but you want to drop out signal here again. But I've got it, as you can tell, because you cannot do that with the Mini 3. You can't turn right to left. All you can do is come straight back and pivot the camera up and down. You can't yaw at all, which you can with the Mini 2, which I love about the Mini 2 because it goes into return home. You can turn that thing sideways, keep coming back to you, but the pictures and the view that you get, you know, even backwards, you can bring it back to you backwards. Can't do that with this. So I wish DJI would change that. I don't know why they don't, but they have not done it yet, and I doubt if they will do it. They are so busy pumping out drones nowadays. So anyway, here we are coming back over that clear cut that we flew down a little ways further down earlier. I want to take a look higher up here. And I am watching my signal, and it's going into the orange quite a bit, 2 to 3 bars, even though I'm much closer now than I was. Antenna position on this Mini 3 drone, the way they've got it laid out in the drone is terrible. And I really believe that causes a lot of the signal strength problems. You can have decent, you can have 4 bars and spin that thing around. She gets halfway and boom, she'll drop down into the orange to 2 bars. So obvious antenna placement. So we're on the way back. We're headed due south now. We're flying into the wind. So like I said, she goes into RTH much sooner than she would ever use all her battery up. And this is the extended plus battery anyway, so I have plenty when I get back home all the time. In fact, as close as she goes in RTH, I could probably use the regular battery and still have plenty to land back, unless I was in a strong headwind or something like that. But we're headed back now. I can see where I'm standing up there. Huh. Good eyes. Anyway, we're veering a little bit here to the left of where I'm standing because I wanted to take a peeky at the woods here. But I'll soon be on course again. So I hope you all are enjoying your drones. This is just one of many hobbies. I fly drones. I ride motorcycles, as if you can tell on my channel if you look at any of my other videos. I got a gob of motorcycle vlogs up there. Also hunt and fish, bow hunt. And I fish a lot, but bow hunting is my first passion. So that'll be taking place here pretty soon, in another week. Bow season starts, and the drone will be put away for a while probably. I may take it with me on a couple hunts, but we'll see how that goes. So we're coming back. This guy's got his own little private pond there. It must be nice. I see all these ponds from the air, though. I would just love just to throw a line in. You know, I don't care if I keep the fish or not. I just want to see what's in there. Have you ever done that? Just wonder, wow, I wonder what's in that pond. Especially down where I live, bass and big catfish are in most of the ponds around here. And if you want to have fun, get to a pond that's filled with perch and get you a little ultralight rod and go at it, you know, for a few hours and have a lot of fun. We're flying over some cedar trees here. Lots of deer bed in these cedar trees, so I keep an eye on them pretty close where the clumps of those are at. And as I'm flying back, there's two guys that come walking up to me, two kids. I don't know, they're in high school, but why they ain't in school, I'm not sure, but they look like they're pretty well stoned. And they come up and sit right behind me where I'm standing, and you'll probably see them in the video. And just constantly yapping at me, asking questions, you know, what are you doing? What's this? What's that? And there's really nothing more distracting when you're flying a drone and having somebody 5 feet behind you, 10 feet behind you, especially two people, younger kids, you know, teenage kids asking all kinds of questions. And like I said, I think they were stoned because some of the questions were just, why is there air? You know, I don't know, but he asked Bill Cosby, he'll know. Anyway, there's that car again, working on the trail, so you know I'm almost back. So we'll be coming in for a hot and heavy landing here. I have to get spun around. I'm trying to yap to these kids, and like I said, I've got a screen recording going, so I've got the microphone on the screen recording, and man, that's why I'm not posting the screen recording, is it's just solid questions and bugging me about stuff. So I'm trying to bring it back in and get landed and vamoose somewhere else. So I'm standing right in front of that little shelter right there on the right. See the landing pad on the ground coming in hot and heavy. And that's those kids' cars back there by that barn. And you can see them, they're sitting underneath the shelter house, and I'm standing right in front of it. And man, you can just tell by how I land how distracted I am trying to talk to them. I get one of them shirts that says, "Professional drone pilot, please be quiet until I land the drone," or something. I saw those on eBay. Oh, guys think there's something else. But there's a lot of truth to that. You know, you got to keep your mind on what you're doing. You saw them sitting there for a second, but I flipped it around so they wouldn't be in the video. Bringing it back home. Guys, stay safe out there, whatever you do. Fly safe, drive safe, ride safe. Treat others the way you want to be treated. That golden rule still applies, and it still makes a lot of sense, especially in today's world. We'll catch you again soon. Come on, Thelma Lou, right there. Thank you for watching.